With snow, there is a gift, a purity in the air, a calming feeling. We hear the silence, the voice of creation. We know the stillness in a time of magic. This is a precious gift indeed, the special time of winter. Put your heart and mind into sharing this miraculous time with others. The seasoned spirits will lead you to the warm and hospitable snow clan. So I had a really important personal revelation that was so exciting for me like a minute ago, and then I immediately felt like I needed to do a reading. The past is kind of lingering. There's a lot here about family, the origin story that you tell, where you came from, and the legacy that you leave behind. This is kind of a weird way of thinking of ourselves posthumously, so let's not do that, but it's kind of like where you're growing towards. Maybe this will be your north node and your south node, right? Your Rahu and Ketu, your growth, your evolution, your evolutionary story had this oppressive quality to it. It's a 10 of Wands, right? So it's like everything you had to carry, all the weight, maybe generational trauma, maybe stories that were told, that were passed down through generations. Or maybe just things you were labeled as, things that you put upon yourself. And that's where memory is kind of an important thing, because when you trigger memory, you can either get stuck in a loop of remembering, or you can start to decompose it. Remembering is putting back together. Infinite truth and passage, right? This is a death card. 23 isn't an actual tarot card. Infinite truth, I guess speaking, being open about something, your truth. Storytelling, which was what kind of got us here in the first place, right? Because they're talking about narrative and how like generational trauma that was told, the stories that were passed on. And the death card, the process of transmutation, of transformation, and considering the death card as like the underworld. Yeah, I've read this so many times in so many of our readings. I'm not going to read it again, but this is kind of just an energy of maybe you're holding on. Maybe right now feels like a time where you want to move forward and you want to be elsewhere. But it's a journey. This is a time to gather yourself for the journey ahead as yet unrevealed, right? With the passage, with the death card. And this is a card just kind of calling you to look within. This is the epic unwritten. It is now time. Look within to explore the realms of self. I keep getting those cards in these readings. Makes me wonder, like, why do I keep getting these cards? There's the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. There is kind of this weird energy here. A part of what's growing and evolving and changing is a healing process. And the healing process is tricky. Right, because remember, I was talking about memories and how memories can either get you in a loop where you just kind of get stuck in the loop, or it triggers an awakening and a change for your evolution, for your betterment. If you think of talk therapy, like traditional therapy, where you go and talk to someone about your problems, sometimes talking gets you stuck. because you're just thinking about all the negative things that happened. And maybe part of you, this is what I resonate with, is through talk therapy, part of you feels like kind of absent, like this isn't really applicable to me anymore. Yeah, all these things happened, but I don't relate to those stories anymore. It's just something I went through. It's not who I am. So you're already evolved past the story. And part of this healing process of going back to it or reconnecting with something triggering is tricky, because it gets you into this emotional space where you are using your imagination. 7 of Cups. Why is 7 of Cups tricky? Because it's connected, I think, with Neptune. I mean, that's how I see it. It's illusory. It's got like an illusion to it. It's not really based in reality. It's based on what we think might happen or how we tell ourselves things happened. It's very emotional content. Yeah. But you're stepping away. So the 8 of Cups is going to help with this, right? It's kind of a progress from the 7 of Cups to the 8 of Cups. Walking away from maybe stories or maybe just experiences that aren't serving your evolution, and stepping into an authentic power with the Emperor card. And the Emperor is the card of Aries, so it's the first sign of the zodiac. And I'm not using the word Aries to speak of specific people, but rather of the evolution of the zodiac, right? The beginning, the first sign, the beginning. And this is your journey to grow in power, to grow towards empowerment. Happiness is a choice I make. I'm not the victim, I'm the lighthouse. Relationships are assignments for optimal growth and healing. I love this. When I move my body, I bust through all that blocks me from my true health and vitality. Activation. Evolution and activation. And we're talking about, just want to be reminded, we're talking about snow. With snow, there is a gift, a purity in the air, a calming feeling. We hear the silence, the voice of creation. We know the stillness in a time of magic. This is a precious gift indeed. I mean, so what is that talking about? Kind of taking things away. Not snow, but silence and stillness. It's a lack of something, right? Silence is a lack of noise, stillness is a lack of movement. But there's spaciousness. That's what you get with silence and stillness. You get spaciousness, right? And you get purity. That's how it's describing snow, is this pure magical experience of creation. Something gets cleansed away. Something gets, I don't know. So snow is freezing rain. Yeah. Yes, it's like a process. Anyways, just trying to think of like water and snow, and I was thinking of the elements and trying to figure out. So it would be air and water. Air, which is the mind and the intellect, and water, which are the emotions. So your mind and your heart. Combining the hemispheres of your brain, the left and the right, which correspond, right, to your body. So the left to the right side of your body, the right to the left side of your body. Balancing yourself. This doesn't really feel like enlightenment, but it feels like stepping into divine purpose, so that you're fulfilling your destiny, so that you are kind of a significant contribution, not only to this world, but to your familial line. Whether it is continuing it or stepping away from it, that's not really what I'm discussing. Just your contribution and your ability to self-analyze and be self-aware in your lifetime. You're not the victim, you're the lighthouse. Happiness is a choice. Relationships are for growth and healing, and moving your body helps you bust through all that blocks you from your true health and vitality. So there's like ways, I mean, it's just tools, right? There's other ways, there's other tools, but this is just tools and ways of thinking so that you can start to empower yourself in difficult situations, in challenging situations where you feel like a victim, where your relationships might hit, a roadblock, where your health and vitality are in some way challenged, where you're maybe struggling with your mood, you choose to be happy. And then all of these changes, all of these very small kind of subtle shifts, realizing you're not the victim, that you can be like an inspiration to others, that you can show others the way, that you can lead, you can become the leader. So that was my epiphany. Before I started this reading, there's a movie called Horse Boy, I believe, and it's a boy who has pretty severe, I believe, autism. And his parents take him to like a shaman. The shaman says that because he's special, he's actually supposed to be a shaman. And so you're not the victim, you're the lighthouse. Okay, to be continued.